I see Tommy Sotomayor. Tommy, welcome back. What's on your mind, bro?
Hey, it won't let me raise my hand, but I would love to talk to you guys when it out. So I was just waiting on you guys to call.
Oh yeah. I got two other people, but I like to get new speakers first, and you're new, so if you want to contribute, you may.
Sure. I was listening to what the guy said just a second ago, and first off, thank you for bringing me up.
Yes, sir.
I was listening to what the guy was saying a second ago, and he was talking about Henry Hill, but Sammy the Bull Gravano, he also flipped. He's one of the biggest rats of all in the mob, and he has his lineage traced all the way back to Sicily. So it's when you say certain things, make sure you have context when you say it, because there's no bigger snitch than Sammy the Bull Gravano.
Well, there are outliers in every there are outliers in every genealogy. I'm just saying generally, and you're right. I should have just said generally. I usually say generally before everything I say, but generally. Go ahead, Tommy.
But generally, the snitches in the mob have been straight up Italians. That's how they were the biggest snitches, because remember, they had more evidence than people who never got a chance to be made.
Right on.
That's like should be common sense. But I agree with it. I like the fact that the conversation is being had. I know when someone said earlier, they said, well, who shouldn't have a right to speak? When we start doing that, and I had thought about doing something, but I haven't done it yet. I didn't know where to do it because I was conflicted. I almost did a show called It Appears That Black FBAs Have Become Lower Level White Supremacists. And let me explain.
Nope.
Oh, come on now. Come on. You always starting shit, Tommy.
Let me ask you this question
You're
real quick.
doing good,
Let
Tommy.
me ask you this question real quick. Do Cambodian people get to speak on Chinese people's issues? When the Japanese people were going to get their reparations, did they have any Indonesian people flapping their gums about it? No. These are our
Nope.
discussions and they're about us. Everybody else is a guest.
I want
Everybody's a
everybody to
guest.
understand that when these other people are able to talk, everybody listens to them because you're talking on Elon Musk internet. Right now, you're talking on his app. But black folks would feel like they were done wrong if they couldn't speak. But on a small segment of it, black folks, and it seemed like
That was my fault, Tommy. Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself. I was scrolling. Uh,
Subconscious.
yeah, go ahead.
The
Yes,
hot sauce
yeah, I
hit the phone. It's
apologize. Go
Nikki's
ahead.
fault. My bad.
no, it's okay, and I thank her for saying that. But the other woman jumps in with how subconscious. It's like the
It was a joke.
I get the joke, but the joke always seems to have.
No, it doesn't.
I don't get it, but it seems like the joke seems to center around the disrespect. I haven't said anything disrespectful. I haven't even said anything out of
Okay.
line.
You just said we were something.
Y'all hear that? I said
Low
we were
key white supremacists, right? Low key white supremacists, because we won't let everybody ram us, get in our business, bend us over like a $2 whore. No, you're not doing that anymore. Have some respect. Speak when spoken to if you're not from this lineage.
Oh shit, I'm talking through a mute. So since Tommy likes to correct people on being concise with their speech, Tommy said, I'm paraphrasing him, but he said something along the likes of blacks are turning into white supremacists. What our brother Tommy doesn't comprehend, he's having a problem comprehending, is supreme means one. There can only be one supreme. So Tommy, I need you to be more mindful of your words and understand what you're saying, because you obviously were speaking out of ignorance. You didn't know what you're talking about. And be mindful, sir. There can only be one supreme. So it can't be a black supreme and a white supreme, sir. We learned that in about the third grade.
I also said, and let me explain, and never got past that.
Okay,
There is no explanation, sir. That's simple arithmetic. That's called.
Is
I don't know where you went to third grade, sir, but that's third grade mathematics.
sir, I have a degree from
Fractions.
Georgia Tech. I'm guaranteeing you don't.
I didn't
I
even hear what
guarantee
you said, but I'm not gonna argue education because you should know my pedigree.
I'm saying the biscuit
I
crumbs
didn't
just be
shit on you.
everywhere when this
You didn't
nigga be
even
Hey,
talking.
understand
y'all
what I said.
lighten up now. Y'all lighten up. Tommy is sensitive.
Refuse to
Y'all lighten up.
I've done that to
I don't want to
I'm
hurt
all
Tommy's
right.
feelings. I don't want to do that.
you're white, you wouldn't have to cut people off. The lower level people, when you hear white supremacists, just like the whole Klan, it was usually lower level broke ass whites that did the most arguing, because the whites that were actually supremacists, the ones that felt like they had the power, they never had to say it. Typically, people who have power, they just exert it. They don't speak about it. So what I mean by it is, it seems like the people are trying to exclude groups of people and use them as fodder to maybe galvanize themselves, which sometimes work. That's where the Klan came from. The broke whites wanted to galvanize themselves, and they needed a villain. And the villain they used were the blacks. But the blacks didn't have any power, so the blacks weren't doing anything to them. It's the same thing with the immigrants. The immigrants have no power. If America told them they couldn't come, they couldn't come. If America didn't hire them, they wouldn't get hired, even on things such as Uber or whatever we try to make fun of them for doing. When I see people like Tyreek making fun of them for what they eat, I have to remember Tyreek Nasheed is not his FBA name. And if FBA was important, why wouldn't he start using his FBA name instead of the adopted Arab name he took? No one asked that question, but everyone should. These,
Black Americans can choose
They
whatever
always
name.
heard about
Oh,
that
go
Sir, I'm
though,
ahead.
gonna
Tyreek.
say,
go ahead.
I'm gonna ask you to, I'm gonna ask you to save. Don't use my stage to hurt our brother Tyreek.
How is that
But
hurting him?
May
I
I
mean to
may I
attack.
may
I'm
I
Why
asking
you
answer?
over
Go,
here
go ahead,
talking about
Wani.
May I
me?
their
We could talk
answer?
lineage.
about somebody else.
Everybody
Oh
that's
my
come
God,
up
how
here,
many
you
people are
asked their
talking?
lineage. You literally
Hold
have.
on. Stop it
I'm gonna
now.
let Wani go. Tommy,
Let me
Wani, you go
address
ahead.
let me address these name things. As Black Americans, we can change our name to whatever we want. We've gone through a lot of different phases where we rejected English names. We rejected Christianity, and a lot of people became Muslim. So, so people change their names. It doesn't matter. All names are made up. There's not one
But
name
we
on the
make fun
earth.
of the Africans who
Not
changed their names
Hey,
to
not
their
Tommy, let it,
not
brother, let her finish her thought, please, sir.
Not one name on this planet is not made up. There's no legitimate name. So as Black Americans, I can change my name if I want to, and it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean that I'm not a Black American. Black Americans can have any name that they want. What's the problem? I don't feel that we're being white supremacists. It's just that people are just not used to being excluded and not being able to flap their gums about what we're doing. That's what the problem is. People think they're just welcome to walk right into our ethnicity anytime they want. Oh, I just moved over to America. I'm Black American. No, you're not. You're not Black American. You have to have that lineage. People don't like that. I can't go to Haiti and become Haitian, can't go to Jamaica and become Jamaican, can't go over to China and become Chinese. But Africans do feel that they can go over to Ireland and argue with Irish people about what it is to be Irish. So they don't have their heads screwed on straight. You say they don't have power, but I disagree. They have come over here running for office on getting rid of Black History Month. They target us specifically, okay? And I don't like it. I don't like any of the things I've seen them do when they obtain office. And they have used their skin color in order to make it look like we're voting for ourselves. We've been tricked. They're all over the NAACP. They're all over the Congressional Black Caucus. They're crawling over every legacy organization that we have. And that's by design. They're doing that because they want to direct the power. This is coming out of their very own mouths. Oh, now we can help the Caribbean. Why should we use the arms of politics that we built so they can fix their raggedy countries that they left? Why should we do that? We built those systems for ourselves to survive here in the United States of America. And if you're not Black American, if your ancestors are not freedmen, that's a specific group. And no, you cannot segue into it sideways, claim it, or do anything about it. And if we decide to have an attitude that we're going to pull rank, people are not used to us pulling rank. That's what it is. We're pulling rank. We're saying, no, we're the astronauts. We're the ones that calculated the moon landing. We're the ones that created two types of cuisine. And in a short period of time, while others took thousands of years to create one cuisine, and they share it in the region. We've created two cuisines. Two in a short period of time. We're the sports legends, okay? We're the world class musicians. We have 101 HBCUs that people come to get scholarships. We pulled rank, and people never expected us to do that. But we did do it, and there's nothing they can do about it. We know what their cultures are, and we know what our culture is, and there is no comparison. So if we don't want to take their opinion, I don't have to listen to the opinion of some random person coming in here with an attitude, trying to put my group down when they have nothing at all on their background that they aren't even supposed to be in a conversation with me. Why should a basket weaver be in a conversation with someone whose ancestors calculated the moon landing? Someone whose lineage has done what ours has done. They are a guest, and they're going to be reminded of that. Any problems?
Well, I want to address something Tommy said and give him a little education on the immigrant issue. Nobody's sitting up here beating down, browbeating poor immigrants. That's not the deal. Tommy, you have to understand understanding of the history will erase the mystery. Immigration has been used as the original weapon against foundational Black Americans and Native, what Dr. Claude Anderson would call Native Blacks, which is the same difference. Immigration was used as a tool to keep down the uprisings caused by Native Americans and what I like to call Native Blacks and foundational Black American enslaved blacks. What would happen is enslaved blacks would run away from the plantations on the 13 colonies and keep running until they ran into the Native American tribes, which were jet black. That's a whole nother story, whole nother stage. That they would amalgamate, according to Dr. Zen, Howard Zen, into these Native American tribes, and they would come together, find a friend of my enemy, find an enemy of my enemy, and I found a friend. They would counter strike and beat the living shit out of the English white slave ownership class. You know, the Thomas Jeffersons of the world. They got so fucking scared, the Thomas Jeffersons and the Benjamin Franklins, that they called home to Mama, or should I say Mother Dearest. They called home to England and said, "Your Majesty, can you help us? These colored people are beating the living shit out of us." And Her Majesty found her greatest tactician, a lowlife, but he was a brilliant military tactician, named Captain James Oglethorpe. He later made general. James Oglethorpe said, "Your Majesty, let's flush the toilets of England on America and what would be Australia. So by getting rid of the criminals, England flushed the toilets of the jails, the degenerates." Now, the words I'm going to use are not my words. They're words of academic canon. They sent the white degenerates, debtors, mentally defective people to the Georgia Corporation, and to the worst went to Australia, but that's a whole nother page for a whole nother stage. These Georgia Corporation immigrant whites wreaked havoc on the blacks and created what is called a buffer class. Remember that word, Tommy? Buffer. Something in between, right? In between what? In between white wealth and black poverty, keeping the status quo. Over time, brother Tommy, those English turned into the Irish and Italians and Europeans to a certain extent, becoming the buffer class. What we're addressing is the buffer class shifting gears in the 60s and 70s to diasporic African and Caribbean people who Black Americans, foundational Black Americans, embraced. But some of these people, not all, a lot of them are our dearest friends and our dearest writers. However, some of them have been used as a buffer class against us. According to Howard Zinn, Dr. Howard Zinn, he says, quote, on page 226, the immigrants from Ireland, excuse me, fleeing starvation there when the potato crop failed, were coming to America now packed into old sailing ships. The stories of the ships were differ in only detail from the accounts of the ships brought earlier by black slaves. Lastly, he says on page 227, quote, how could these Irish immigrants, themselves poor and despised, become sympathizers with the black slave? That's you, Tommy, who was becoming more and more the center of attention, the subject of agitation in the country. Indeed, most working class activists at this time ignored the plight of the blacks. Eli Moore, a New York trade union leader elected to Congress, argued in the House of Representatives against receiving the abolitionist petitions, and he ends on this, quote, racist hostility became an easy substitute for class frustration. And let me interpret what that means. That means that the system went and found starving, oppressed immigrants and made a deal with them. You come over here and you keep the Negroes in place, and we will give you shine. So that in itself created a diametric opposition between a certain immigration class, not all, but some, and the Black American.
If you don't mind, I would love to be able to speak back. I know if you guys have listened,
Go ahead.
everybody been able to speak to me, but I haven't been able to speak back. I would hope to get the same respect that y'all have gotten when y'all were speaking. I will tell you that buffer does not simply mean in between. I will tell you exactly what a buffer means. And if you're saying that this is what they were, then listen. A person or things that prevents incompatible or antagonistic people or things from coming into contact with or harming each other. So if you're saying that they were a buffer class, they were preventing things that were incompatible and antagonistic from coming in contact with each other. If you've ever used a buffer or understood what a buffer, ever heard that in a sentence, it literally means that thing is keeping peace from two things that would probably fight. That's all it means. So you claim that these were buffer class people that were coming to take something from you. But it seemed like they were preventing something from happening by the word you use. But you told me you wanted to educate me, and I'm telling you what the word.
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir, Tommy. Thank you. They were preventing our success. They were taking opportunity. So you're right. They were preventing. They were preventing success and preventing our rightful
But it
inheritance
is
of the fruits of the land.
incompatible and
Of the fruits of the land. Sir, hold on. I don't say anything without backing it up, Tommy. If you listen to Dr. Claude Anderson on page 102 of Black Labor White Wealth, Dr. Anderson says, as a matter of fact, ethnic and racial, quote, as a matter of fact, ethnic and racial immigrants historically has been a wedge. A wedge is a buffer,
different word.
wedge between whites and blacks,
Right.
giving
What a
whites
wedge.
an alternative. Giving white, hold on, brother, an alternative to interacting with blacks. Each time in history, either before or after war, when the American economy was expanding and could have offered material, listen to this, could have offered material economic benefits to blacks. That's money, that's opportunity, right? He finalizes with quote, a new influx of immigrants or refugees arrived to fill the void and further exiled blacks from fruitful participation in the national life, according to historian Dan Lacey. So, sir, that's Dr.
I
Howard
agree
Zinn,
with
Dr.
that.
Dan Lacey, and
Sir, I
well,
agree with that.
we in agreement,
Hold
brother.
on, but you're talking and you won't even admit you used a word. I just took the word you used. That is an incorrect word. The one that they spoke and Claude Anderson spoke, he did not use those words. He used words that showed like a wedge. A wedge is not a buffer. A wedge is a separator. A wedge is to cause an issue. A buffer is to stop one. So if Claude didn't use it, why would you use it is all I'm saying. And instead of you telling your audience right now, well, he does have a point. I used a word that Claude didn't even use because Claude used a word that showed they were fucking with us. Wedge. And the other word that he used, both of them.
This is based on semantics. I don't know if you realize what he's doing, but he's not even staying on point.
No, I got him, Nikki, because I'm gonna
He
slightly
corrected
embarrass.
me. Why would
I,
you?
I don't want I don't I don't want I don't want to embarrass the gentleman, but
This is
we're gonna
sad.
go to our friend. We're gonna go to our friend Merriam Webster, the dictionary. A buffer is a person or thing that prevents incomplete or agnostic people or things to coming in contact. That's a buffer. A wedge is a piece of wood, metal, or some other material having one thick end to go between objects. They're the same thing, buddy. It's the same thing.
Okay. When even then, the
Same exact thing, Tommy.
no, but
Tommy, Tommy,
it
I'm
is.
gonna find your third grade teacher and cuss her ass
See?
out because she
So
failed
when
Lord.
me.
I say something, then the woman will say, and I'm right. Oh, he's using semantics. When I'm literally going back after somebody saying my third grade education is a problem. This is weird. It's like if I told
No,
you
your
I
third grade
was
teacher
5,
probably wasn't licensed. I used to be a
Going this
professor of
nigga
God,
education. I
career
need to have a
animated.
talk.
God
I
damn.
need to have a talk with her ass
like it's again. I have said here,
because she let you down,
education be
man.
insulted, and I said nothing. I then started back and told you what the word meant. I didn't say anything. I didn't call you stupid, like I was called stupid. And then I was told, well, that's just semantics.
I don't think you're stupid. I wouldn't talk to somebody who is stupid. You're highly intelligent. You're using words you don't understand, brother. I'm an educator.
I
I'm here to
just
educate
told you
you.
what the word
You're
meant.
my brother. I want you to
I don't
succeed.
use the word.
And you were
Calm down,
wrong.
dude. Calm down.
Oh my God.
Hey, the hell with both of us. No, oh my Merriam-Webster. I tell you what the dictionary said, sir.
Black
Blood pressure
person told
going
us
up.
we were
Lord.
wrong. Okay. And again, you sit here and
Go
tell
ahead,
me
Tommy.
the other people, these Africans, well, they were used as a buffer class, which meant you had no power. The people in power were white and were allowed to make these other people in front of you. The same thing I said about right now. Everything that an African gets, a white person gives it to them. You don't. You can't. Blacks, FBAs can't stop anyone from coming to America or send anyone from America. So how powerful is an FBA? Y'all are literally sounding like minor level whites. All you do is talk about these other people and what white people did. We created different types of music and education. Yes, under a white system. You literally were under whites. This is insane that y'all won't say this. Everything you claim you created in America, you created them because the white man educated you. Literally is what it was. You wrote it in English.
Calm down, sir. Your heart about to stop, man. Calm
He
down.
the black Marvin
I'm not
Gaye.
wrong. I'm not
Actually, we were
wrong.
educated
You wrote in
by
English.
black
Who taught you
people
Oh,
English?
after the Civil
Who
War.
taught you English?
Loud and wrong.
we can do that all day.
But that's what
The
you're doing
Moors,
with
the
Africans.
Kemites, the Europeans, sir. The Europeans studied in Egypt when they couldn't talk. According to
They
Bobby
didn't
Hemmett,
speak
they couldn't talk. The
English.
Egyptians taught them how to talk.
They didn't
I
speak
didn't say speak.
English.
I said talk.
Okay, so then why are you
You didn't
talking
hear me.
crap about
So
Kemites when the Kemites weren't FBA? They weren't FBA. They were tethers. Y'all
no,
taking
there's
truth.
well,
Y'all want
sir.
to be
I'm not at liberty to give you a free lesson. I'd have to charge you for this one, but I give you a sample. There is some scholarship to show that we do have a lineage relationship to the Kemites. So that's our lineage. And if you want to know more about that, by Chancellor Williams, the destruction of African civilization, that shows that the Portuguese, my dear friend, went looking for a lineage, the lineage of Kemites, to enslave and bring to the Americas.
Queen Killer, go ahead. Professor has a phone call.
Yeah, I just when Tommy said that white people taught us, if it's not from my understanding that during chattel enslavement, most Black Americans, which you did have white people teaching, but most Black Americans actually taught themselves. That's why the Tutnese language was so important because Tutnese actually taught us how to read and write and talk. Most Black Americans taught themselves. We weren't taught by white people. So I think you need to get your facts straight on that. That's one of those tether things where they, oh, the white man taught you, the white man teach you everything. No, actually, the white man was bare on his ass just like us. He was able to fix this country and to make this country what it was through our innovations. You know, you got to get that right, you know. But white people weren't just freely teaching black people. Black people were teaching themselves. That's why our literacy rate went up only 10 years after fucking slavery. So you guys got to wake that shit up. We ain't just some dumb people that white people taught, you know.
sir, you just proved my point. After slavery, when it was no longer illegal to teach a black, literacy went up.
No, I literally it did went up
Precisely.
after slavery because then we were able without being
Yes.
perjurized. Hold on, without being perjurized under the law, we were able to learn and read and write. What I'm saying is during slavery, when things like the Techniques language and stuff was created, Black Americans were already teaching themselves. You already had a large portion of people who were reading and writing during slavery, self-taught. If you look at a lot of our great black authors from that time, and some of them were taught by white people and some of
Yeah.
them were taught by themselves. A lot of people were taught by themselves. That's why I said Tutnese during slavery. Tutnese was used actually to help us read and write. It wasn't just to have people not understand what we're talking about. Tutnese is actually used to help you read and write the English language, if you
No,
knew.
I'm accepting that. I'm literally accepting what you're saying. I know, and when you're making something, just like what it took to make you, that took several generations of people to make you as one person. And it's the same thing about knowledge. All of these places and things of knowledge, I have a saying: everything I know, I learned. And it's the same thing about those people. You typically build on someone else's knowledge, and there's nothing wrong with it. But we have to acknowledge that that happens. We can't just say these blacks taught themselves. No, there were blacks who were taught by whites, and then those blacks went and taught themselves, and it might have been at a shorter rate. But there's a reason why we can look back at the blacks and the schools and see that they jumped incrementally when they had the white hand on them. So, that being said, we could say the same thing when we're calling these people failed states.
They didn't
They
have
didn't
a white hand though. They had white.
back them.
They did not have a white hand on them. Go learn about these black historical
Oh, they didn't.
colleges and stuff. They were funded, but they didn't have a lot
That's
of these
no way.
places they had
Let's
mulatto
do it.
teachers.
One of the most important things of education is funding.
That's
Literally,
what
it
I'm saying.
is.
But that's not. But funding is that school getting a certain amount of money to sustain the students. What I'm telling you is the people teaching those people then were other black people.
You got
White
a
people were
better
not.
grade of black folks because you had more funding. My daughter goes to a private school. Her schooling was better than the public school. And the reason why it was because of the money we paid. The public school, they had 50 kids in the class. My
We're
daughter's
talking about
class
150
had
years
12.
ago, sir. We're talking about 150 years ago, where
That's
Black
my no,
Americans weren't going to
yes, that's what
public
I'm saying.
schools.
The money brought them the best teacher. Even then, it's always been that way.
No,
That's why the aristocracy, they were better educated because they had the better teachers because they could afford it. That's why money is the number one factor in an education. It literally is. So when you said, yeah, they might have funded it, but they didn't have a hand, that is the biggest hand. The Yankees keep kicking everybody's ass in the Dodgers because they got more money than everybody else.
So Brown
When you can
versus the
hire the
Board of
better players,
Education.
the education's same. You guys know it. Why do you think the inner
Dodgers
city
kicking
has
the
the
Yankees
worst
ass.
teachers?
Like he lying. The
Because
Brown versus Board of Education, the teachers didn't want to teach. That was the whole problem with Brown versus the Board of Education. They didn't want to teach them.
when you funded it, it didn't matter. Just like another person in Alabama called Bear Bryant. He didn't want to coach blacks until he started losing. Literally, it became a money thing. He needed to keep his job and he needed to compete. When you put blacks in it, we made the whites look bad. Same thing with Babe Ruth. They love to claim Babe Ruth was the greatest baseball player. He never played against a Negro. When Negroes came in the league, they showed them what the best players look like. You can't say you're the best of anything when you're segregated. And that's what they were doing to blacks. They were not giving blacks the same money that they were giving whites, then claiming the whites were more educated than the blacks. But we weren't even having good books. We had books that were missing pages. We were having our schools bombed. We were having white people being intimidating the black people from even going to school and learning. So yes, your kid should have a higher SAT score.
But I thought they
You
wasn't
made it
teaching
that
them.
way.
Wasn't the point you were making was that
So
certain
what's the point of this
Yeah,
conversation?
can
Yeah,
I
he
say
just
something,
twisting
Yanni?
everything around.
Yanni?
I
Yeah,
want to
baseball
know.
was
Hold on.
everything for
Let's have
longer
some
He's
than
doing
order.
that
Let's have some order.
JWD
We're going.
spin.
We're going to
Hold
Wani.
on.
Wani first. Wani first, then Fire
I'm
Nagy.
asking.
Go ahead, Wani.
Yeah, I'm just asking a question because I had to step away for a moment. I was asking a question why we were talking about Black American education. Are we comparing that to Africans? What are we doing?
It appears that y'all have been doing it. That's
That's
because
a
I jumped
question.
in.
That's a question for
Oh,
Tommy.
no.
Go ahead,
Oh,
Tommy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You said it appears a lot of people view it and hear it as you're comparing yourself. That's why
okay.
I hear you say
Sure.
something about what y'all cook versus what they cooked, what y'all
Okay.
created musically
I
versus what
think
they do.
you, okay. Hold on. I think you missed like a massive amount of the conversation because the whole conversation between us and Africans is that we don't have any roots, that we don't have any food. There's literally a Nigerian chef running around claiming soul food is rooted in West African food. So if I say, show me a book that proves that you actually had those foods prior to being colonized, they don't have anything like that. They have current cookbooks. uh, their education is their problem. And it has nothing, shouldn't have to be funded by white people. I don't understand that part. They are, should have their own educational systems, just like the Chinese have an educational system. Everybody who's Chinese comes over here with a foundation. They come with a spiritual belief system. They come with an educational belief system. They come with all kinds of ideologies from China. So we don't see that coming from West Africa. We see them glomming on to colonist ideals and then trying to flex on us. They come here telling us that they're doing better than us, and that was a skewed statistic. They're not smarter than Black Americans. They don't have anything to show for themselves. They're simply like every other immigrant. They come over here, glom onto a school, and then get a job, and they start flexing that job. They overlook the fact that we did them a favor, that we extended an olive branch. We gave them charity and let them come over to Morgan State University to be trained as doctors by Black Americans. And then they go running around the country flexing that they're doctors and that we're not. We have a whole history in being medical professionals, in advancing medicine. We don't, it's just worthless to talk to these people. They are delusional and they're trying to save face because when they look at what they've really done for thousands of years, it amounts to kente cloth and baskets and pots. And now the rest of the world is doing other things. That's their business. That's their fault. That doesn't have anything to do with us. We were thrown on slave ships and kicked to the curb, left for the sharks. And if we came over here and did something with our lineage that's gotten the attention of the world, if the whole world wants to copy jazz and hip hop and rock and roll, whose fault is that? We're just being ourselves and they're mad about it.
But they're not. Y'all get mad
They
when they copy
are.
your. No, ma'am. When they rap, y'all get mad at them. They don't
Correct?
get mad at you because you had rap. They just join
No,
it.
they say that they created it. We're having that problem now with a bunch of
Not even
Latinos that
going
didn't even
around
speak
doing this.
English.
No African said he created hip hop.
Yes, they did. You don't run in the same
Really?
circles that
Okay.
I
So by
do.
that logic, that's like how
They're
black people.
literally in the
Say that
UK
try to
claiming that they
universe
created
who
drill.
said this. Say they're all saying it.
They
They're all
collected.
saying it.
yes.
But
let
you
me
know, or
let me let me let me say this. Over in the UK, they literally had an article where they said that we in the UK are sending our drill music over to East Africa. We're exporting music. They don't have any music. They're delusional. They don't have any
do you
music to
understand that
export.
whites in America get the same thing from whites around the world?
Yes,
Literally say
white
that white
people stole
Americans
from
have
us,
no
and
cuisine. Am I
and the
lying? Am
well,
I
I
lying?
don't know.
They say white Americans have no
Hold on.
cuisine.
Did
They
I
say
say
whites
white America?
everywhere else have
They
food.
don't. They
American whites
don't.
do not.
White Americans do not have any cuisine. We created soul food and they changed it to Southern food. Yeah,
I'm
because
just
what we're
saying,
talking, hold on, because what we're talking about on the plantations is primarily English people right? I didn't say all white people. All people in Europe did not know how to cook because Italians can cook. They're the only people I think can cook. I believe that the Greco-Roman Empire left a very strong footprint on cuisine, and it was taken up by French people. French people have a very beautiful way of interpreting cuisine, even though French food itself is not so great, but they know how to prepare it. They know how to make it, they understand how to put cuisines together, and that's why everybody looks to them, hot cuisine and all this type of thing. So they do have that. But when we're speaking about English people, their national dish is curry. They know they can't cook, so they certainly weren't cooking and busting pots over here.
Black
We
people
know
like
that.
goulash. Where did goulash come from? Where
Isn't
did
that
goulash come
Eastern
from?
European?
I'm a Southerner. We
Eastern
love goulash.
European?
Where'd it come from?
Goulash comes
Eastern
from Hungary.
European.
Goulash is Russian.
Oh, I thought it was Eastern European.
They are
Hungary. It
Eastern
comes from
Europeans.
Hungary.
That's the East.
Let me look it up.
Or
No, he
Hungary,
said
whatever you call it.
Russia.
Listen, they're Eastern Europeans because Russia is split in Asia and Europe.
Okay. Yeah, I just consider Russia being Russia.
I
So I
understand it's
thought
different between I
I thought
consider
it was Eastern European. So
people a whole.
it's probably overlaps because most of these cuisines overlap into other
Yeah,
areas.
That's all.
I'll
it's
look
a
it up real
Hungarian
quick.
soup.
Yeah, it's
Exactly. So
Hungarian.
what I'm trying to tell you is that a lot of these things, when we talk about foods, they come from somewhere. When you look at what the Africans had to create in America, soul food literally came from white folks would not give us their major cut of food. So
No,
when
not
you say you
it.
created something based upon the
Here's
fact that you didn't have,
here's the deal.
that's what
That's
Black
not
Americans
that's
have
not
done a lot.
exactly
Some
that's not
great things,
exactly true. The soul food is not
isn't?
strictly based on not having. A
Use
lot
the
of the
word.
a lot of the things in soul food are based on the staples of things given to the slave quarters.
Also African, like sweet potato.
Oh my God. We have tons of potatoes in the Americas. Stop talking about
Oh my!
African foods. Don't talk about
You
African
came from
foods.
that place,
Don't talk about African foods because that's
ma'am.
ridiculous.
You came from
We
that place.
okay, but they also use tomatoes and peanuts, and we don't have to lord that over them and say you owe us for tomatoes and peanuts. I don't want to talk about
They
sweet
don't
potatoes.
care you.
How
When
many?
Africans
How
right
many?
now are doing American things, they know they are. Their parents will get mad at their children for doing it.
Good.
They don't try to
That's
act
a
like
good work.
they hated it.
I hope they don't, but they've done it
That's what
here.
I'm saying. So y'all are saying
They've
things
done it
to me
here.
like it would
They've
be.
done it here.
I was a little brother to my big brother.
I
I
can
was
show you evidence of what we're
close.
saying.
I didn't look down upon him or pretend they were mine. His name was Reese Dog. That's why they call me T Dog. I wanted to be him. Y'all have a lot of these people from a lot of these places. They just want to be American. They don't have a beef with Americans.
They do.
They look up to you.
They don't.
Yes, they do.
Prove it.
These people, literally, if you go watch a lot of African TV, these niggas trying to be American.
I'm
It's not
aware
that
of
they
that.
look up to you; they envy us. That's what it is. It's
Right.
envy.
That's the
Whatever word you want
confusion.
to use,
And
they
and
look at
Tommy,
it
to
and they
correct
say
you
they'd
about
rather
soul
be
food,
that.
really quick,
What they're saying is they
Tommy.
would rather be you than be
Oh,
themselves.
okay. Hold on a second. I just wanted to throw that in real quick. A lot of the foods that we use are things that heartier foods like collard greens were hardy and they said you could grow those. So a lot of the foods that are in our diet or in our soul food cuisine are things that we were allowed to grow ourselves and part of the
That's
staples.
my point. And even if you look at the way the foods are
It's not all
distributed
chitlins.
at
I mean,
Black food,
everybody just
from
wants to
all the
talk about
soul food, ma'am,
everybody
Right.
wants
all
to
the
talk
soul
about
food we
they
eat,
gave you
it is
scraps and now you
the
make food
number
out of
one
scraps.
killer of blacks is their diet in America, which would mean what? That
Okay.
this
Yeah,
food doesn't.
Tommy,
Let me
bro, Tommy, we
let me
talked about
break it
that
down.
this morning, and the diet. You're right, the diet is killing Black Americans, but it's not our diet; it's Europeans' diet.
Yes, that's
Right.
what I'm saying. Oh, say it again, please.
It's a
But
European
here's the
diet that's been
deal.
prescribed
You're
to us.
hold on. It's an American diet and
See,
Americans are fat.
Yeah,
That
all Americans are
Okay.
unhappy, right?
jive with our body, ma'am. Don't you understand this? It's like the sun don't jive with white folks.
I understand those differences. And I'm a vegan, so I get it. And I haven't eaten a standard meals for decades. But that's not the point. The point is, most people don't eat that heavy of food. Collectively, American food is, it's not doing us a good service collectively. I'll say that. But everybody's not running around eating chitlins all day. So it's really not soul food that's the problem.
Y'all get
On
changed.
its face, each of these foods is fine. It's some of the ingredients that are used to make them. Just like my grandmother used to have a can of lard under the sink, the women of today probably don't have that. And they can change a lot of the ingredients in soul food and make it healthy. You can make anything healthy. If I can make everything vegan, you can make everything healthy. It's
No,
very
hold
easy.
on, ma'am. Do you understand that the average person that was black
Mm-hmm.
or 1860 did not live
Mm-hmm.
long
Yes.
because of that bad diet? So when you say they could have made these things healthy, there
I didn't
was
say that.
just
I
living.
didn't say that. I didn't say that. I said my grandmother
They do
had a
these things.
can of lard under the sink, and the next generation can have a healthier oil in the next generation. I didn't say they could do it. They had limitations. I mean, I don't even think they had an alternative
You
to.
used words. We just didn't know what they were. But you said they can make
Okay.
things healthy. You
Okay.
said that. So I was just
No,
saying,
people today
okay, there you
can
go. Okay.
take those same things. Just like when I make greens, I don't put fat back and all kinds of
Yep.
stuff in it. I get the same smoky flavor in a different way. Um, so
Hold on.
yeah, we
That's what
can.
so listen to what you're saying.
The cuisine is the cuisine.
I
It
know, but listen
doesn't
to what you're
mean
saying.
you have to use the
People
actual
take from other
recipes.
places when it's
But
beneficial to them.
Tommy, excuse me,
Yes, sir.
because you said something about soul food, and I wanted to correct you really quick.
Hold on, Coon. Hold on, Coon. We kind of out of order
Oh,
here.
I'm
We're gonna
sorry.
go to you, good brother. Fire Nagy. What's on your mind?
Oh, I just want to add, hey, good job, Wani. I want to also add that, we're under a system of global white supremacy. When you say things such as, black people, we benefit from the white system. You're in a circular argument. First, you're paying because how can whites be the antagonist and then the protagonist? So they prevented us from learning, but then you give them credit for allowing us to learn. At the same time, that's kind of an odd. I mean, that's a performative contradiction. If they prevent you from learning and then you give them credit for allowing us to learn, and it makes no sense.
Well, I can explain
Second,
that. That's simple.
well, hold
You
on,
if
hold
you
on, hold
say
on.
the family, there will be a couple of family members who weren't trying to molest you.
That's
So you give that part of your family credit for not trying to molest you, other than the other ones that were. There are plenty of people who said white people did this to blacks, but they also acknowledge abolitionists who also were white. That's not that much of a stretch, sir. I'm pretty sure you've seen several different people of other things, just like I'm sure there are Lebanese who can tell you some good Jews. Guarantee it is.
it was codified in U.S. law, and everybody knows that it was codified in U.S. law. They did not want us to learn and to be educated. They didn't want us
There were whites who lost their life trying to educate and free blacks. They died. They
laws.
were
You
murdered.
understand what policy means?
Hey,
The U.S.
Professor
laws. Okay.
Hey, yeah, who's talking?
Stony, I got a
It's Mike's
question.
messed up.
Hold on, it's a line. It was Fire Nagy. Then we're going to housing and who was that just said something?
He was speaking, but his mic was messed up.
Oh, okay.
Okay. What I also want to say is that you're comparing Africans who are under colonial rule to Black Americans who were enslaved and saying, well, you guys benefited from the system. How does a slave benefit more from a system as opposed to somebody who's just being colonized?
Well, I can explain that.
Colonization is indirect rule. There were 10,000 white folks, over there. They had to fight an entire civil war.
I don't know, but I can explain it if you ask the question.
Okay,
I can answer it. Simple.
explain to me how a slave
You don't
is
want the answer.
how
Okay.
a slave
So no
benefits
problem.
more than somebody under or how a slave is benefiting more than somebody who's being colonized.
I said the words I can
Okay, please do
explain.
so.
No matter how you ask that question, I can explain it if you'd like to hear it. Now, if you
Go
don't,
ahead.
then I
I'm
won't.
letting you talk.
Okay, cool. When you said that one was enslaved and one was colonized, let me tell you what the enslaved individual was. The enslaved individual was less than the colonized individual. The colonized individual was at some point smarter than the enslaved individual because they had to do certain things to keep them enslaved. But like the British, when they abolished it, when America decided to abolish it, things changed. When you abolish that, I would say, shackle that you put on those people, well, now you have to do the same thing the North had to do to the South after they defeated them. They then had to do what? They had to finance them.
Can you answer
Isn't
the
that the same
question?
thing
Can you
that
answer the
happened?
question? How
Wait,
one
I'm
benefit?
answering it. Everybody else understands it.
No,
It's
you
the
don't
same thing that
understand.
happened
You
to
won't
Japan.
explain it.
The reason why Japan ended up beating everyone technologically because they did not have to create their own what? Military. Because who was funding them? The
Why are
people
we
who
I
talking
asked
about
you a basic
the
Japan?
United
question.
States.
How does a slave benefit
I
more
answered
than
it.
so you're saying
Oh my
so?
God.
Calm
Said it.
down,
When
He
the
Nick.
answered it with a
slavery stopped,
Japanese.
Yeah, he jumped. He
when
jumped
it
way to Japan.
stopped,
You see that?
sir, do you guys not know anything about examples?
Oh gosh, man.
I
Calm down,
proved
sir.
my point by showing other examples of when it happened. And you're gonna not
No,
acknowledge it?
Okay,
you're
This is
running
so
around. You're running around. You want to answer the
no,
question?
I'm
Fog.
not.
A
He's doing
slave
fog.
I'm
does not have
directly
a
I
answering
swear,
doesn't
you.
these
have no
okay,
raccoons
let's
start eating
lower
out
the
of trash.
volume.
They start going
Let's
crazy.
relax. Let's
Yeah.
relax a bit.
Everybody watch this and see how the man's
Everyone
attacking me
relax.
and I'm answering his question. And it would, and
All
not only I gave
ladies and
him
gentlemen,
examples.
Tom, hold on one second.
So
We're gonna move on to the black. What's on your mind, black?
I wanted to say something real quick. So am I to understand that I should care about the situation with people that were colonized when those people sold part of my lineage into slavery?
No, ma'am, I was just answering his question.
Okay,
If
so
you
why
ask
should
me
we?
what's 5 times 5 and someone jumps in,
Okay,
should I care about
that
math?
wasn't a.
No,
I
I'm just
I
answering
didn't think
the
that
question.
was a very good answer. We definitely were oppressed more than Africans. There's no way to speak around
When
that.
did I say that wasn't? I said literally before
Okay.
when it was slavery versus colonization, the blacks
I
were
have to
behind
call you
the
back tomorrow, but
colonized.
everything's good, all right?
The problem
You're
Okay,
on the
is
phone.
so
stop the slavery. When they stopped the slavery, the group that was behind them, if you and I were in a race, ma'am, and a person
okay.
on my back when we started,
Hmm.
you get a head
Hmm.
start. If they jump off and they jump on that other person's back, I now get to gain ground. That's what happened when slavery became abolished. Now you had to deal with Jim Crow. Then, when Jim Crow was abolished, the person on the black person's back weighed less. Each time the person weighed less. Why wouldn't you understand that?
Okay, so why should we be concerned with
I didn't say you
African
should.
issues?
I did not say you should. When someone asked me to explain something,
Why
there's
shouldn't we
no
be
emotion
hostile
in it.
toward
If they
Africans?
asked me how to explain
Because
electricity,
are
and I
you
explained it,
you
why would the
okay?
next question
Are
be,
you
why should we
hold
care?
on a
We're not
minute? Are
electricians.
you hold on a second? Are you aware that Pakistan and India don't like each other?
I'm aware that the North and the South Vietnamese don't like each other.
Okay.
What the crap?
So if they have issues in their history that make them feel that way, why isn't anyone trying to force them to be buddy buddy?
Who? I answered a question the guy asked. Why do
We're
you
not
keep
talking
trying to go
about
back
that
to
now.
something
We're
that I
talking
did?
about the previous
He just finna
conversation.
change it
I
again.
am not trying to tell anybody to be buddy buddy with anyone. If
You
anybody
said that
can
we
tell me where
shouldn't
I
have
said it,
we
I'll give
shouldn't
them
have these.
$1,000 right now. Tell me where I
Okay.
said you should be friends with Africans.
He just
You said that we were being mean to them, and you're
I did
not
not say
acknowledging
words,
that they are being
ma'am.
mean to
What I
us.
stated was what I saw. If you saw me slap
Okay.
my sister, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
You didn't feel
Let me help
let
you. Let me help you with this.
me slap her.
Is there a reason why South Africans don't want Nigerians around them
Come on, his
and
blood
want
pressure
them
going up. He need to calm down.
kicked out of the country? They're a menace.
No,
They
I'm
bring
making argument
drugs.
out of
They
it and act like
abuse.
you're argument after you do it.
Is there a reason why Buhari, their previous president, said
I
that they were
just
a
told
bunch
you
of
that doesn't.
criminals?
I don't oppose it.
Okay.
Why you want me to name some people? The West Bank and Israel. You can do this all day, ma'am. I don't have
Okay.
a problem with them doing it. So
What is
why
the
keep
problem
acting
that
like
you
I
had? What's the
I
problem that
do
you've had
not
with our
have a problem
interactions? I want to
with it.
understand
They
this clearly.
acknowledge that they're doing it is the issue.
Okay.
They acknowledge what they're doing. Whites acknowledged they didn't like blacks. They didn't pretend that when you saw them beating them and putting hoses on them,
Okay,
they
hold
didn't
on,
say,
hold on, hold on.
when you asked them, was
What
it
is
racism?
it?
They said,
What
that's what
is
it
your,
is.
I want to be clear on what is your criticism with our interactions with Africans and Caribbeans, South Americans, and other groups?
I just pointed out what I saw appeared like what whites do to blacks that blacks complain about.
Mm-hmm.
Blacks complain
So,
about the
can you
same thing
stop a
they're
minute?
doing.
Can you stop a
It's
moment?
a hypocrisy is
So,
all I see.
it's not really a hypocrisy
Just
because,
my opinion.
okay, so that's like saying that if we don't want immigrants in the country, that we're coons or that we're being white supremacists because a white supremacist may want that same thing. Two people with opposing
No,
viewpoints can want the same thing.
no. I will tell you how that's 100% different. Bad example.
Okay.
Because when you are an American or you
Mhm.
are a, let's just say you're AKA or you're whatever it is, you built these laws into your group. And people have to, just like they go to the club. If they say they don't want people with hats in that club, if
Mhm.
you want to go to their club because it's theirs, then you got to wear hats or not wear hats. So America has laws just like every country has laws and borders. So that is not the same as an FBA who literally can't stop a African from saying my name John instead of pum pum pum. You can't stop him from rapping and pretending to be black when he does, because you don't have power. You don't own a record company. You don't own the United States. You don't own Ellis Island. All y'all doing is talking, is what I'm saying. And I am not wrong because y'all haven't been able to exclude
And
not one
why?
African from
Then
one thing.
tell, then tell me why they need to come to us to get cred all the time.
They don't come to
People
you.
like, yes, they do. People like Drake
How?
have to go hang around to
Drake did
get
not
his.
come to you.
Yes,
Y'all
not
couldn't keep him
me.
coming. Drake
Not
got his
Man,
me.
come
own
on. This
Let's
that
not.
dude,
he
come on,
He got put
y'all.
on by Cash
just
Professor,
think
Money,
y'all
by
things.
black people
Drake
in
got
Europe.
his
Okay.
name from dropping
I didn't say
mixtapes
he came
on
to me.
YouTube. Everybody knows
Not
this.
me.
Professor, dude is doing them laws, them numbers that you was talking
Are
about.
y'all kidding
He
me?
doing
Drake
law
literally
Hold on.
came to
33,
H-Town to
32.
Drake
Let
raise
me
literally
time.
blew it. It's just like
let me
Lil Wayne blew
just
up when he
Tommy,
skated
please
26.
relax. Please
That's when they
relax.
thought he was the
It's not
greatest
that
rapper
serious.
alive.
Let's not
His phone about to blow up. Calm
just
down.
just please calm down.
Calm down
So I
because I'm
think
telling the truth.
hold
So
on. I
y'all see
think
what they do. Every
let me
time I
ask you
say something that's
again.
correct,
Let
they
me
yell,
just
calm
ask you
down.
again. I want to be sure I'm understanding you. Are you saying that because we were discriminated and are discriminated by white people, that we can't turn around and be exclusive? We don't have the right to be exclusive
You don't have a right now.
because we criticized white people for discriminating against us. Is that what you're saying?
Listen,
Yes,
you
that's
can
what
do
he's
that.
saying.
It's the same thing whites do when they say they want to exclude you from their jobs or they want to exclude you
They're
from their
not they're,
neighborhoods.
here's the
It's the
deal
same
though.
thing.
We are Americans.
No,
And when
but
it
you
comes,
ain't white.
shh, hold on. We're Americans. So when we pay taxes, the
Come on.
country is obligated to fund our schools just like they fund other people's schools. They can't
They
exclude
don't have
us
any
because
in
that's
theirs. Does Harvard let everybody in it?
that's
Does Harvard let
racism.
everybody in it?
We're talking about a lineage though. Nobody's in the lineage.
Create your own pro-black Harvard.
We
Create
have
it.
we have
Create
a whole lot of
Harvard. The Jews do
HBCUs.
it.
We don't need more schools really. We
Oh my
need
God.
different
Y'all speak like that.
education.
Nothing I say
We
ever gets
may
an actual answer.
relax, but
Okay?
relax wherever you go because this is just
Never
I
go
feel
This
away.
like
nigga
I'm
still
giving you a
foaming at the
stroke.
mouth. Calm down, man.
I
Shit.
don't
You
want to
might
be
got rabies or
responsible
something.
for
Tell me
any
to
kind of
calm down.
strokes.
He can't say I'm wrong, so he just keeps saying calm down
I
like I'm
I
old.
do
Hey, he
feel
Because
that
doing
you
you
blowing the
laws.
gasket. Just calm
I
down and
Let
hold
explain
me
it to the
tell
on.
you
man.
like a
Damn.
my
bug.
gasket blow.
I
I'm
feel
the
like
FDA, and
you
this is
don't
my
feel.
FDA
Wait
gasket.
a
Why would
minute.
you tell me what to do with
I
my
Nigga got
gasket?
crumbs everywhere.
Why would you care what I do with my gasket when people are not supposed to care what y'all do with y'all lineage?
I feel like you don't feel that we have the right to be exclusive because we are slaves. We have to let everybody in the door. Everybody gets to come to the cookout. And we can exclude and we can say who's cool and who's not cool and who's a rapper and who's not. We can make comments on who can sing country music and who can't. I don't know why you think we
I
can't.
agree,
Of
ma'am.
course we can.
I agree with all of what you said.
Just
And
like
all I'm
white people
saying
are
is
running
other
around
people
talking
should
about
be able to do
Beyonce
it as well.
shouldn't. Did white people run around saying Beyonce shouldn't sing country music because it's
And y'all
white
and
music?
y'all protested it. You
Yes, we did.
protested it.
Yes, we did.
That's my point. Oh my
That's our
Jesus
music
Christ.
genre.
Do
All the
y'all
music
hear this?
genres belong to us.
She could have
We
stopped right there and said, well,
protested
that
it.
makes sense why people are protesting what we're doing, because we protest when people do it to us. Literally.
That's our music
Oscars so
genre.
white.
She can
What did
sing
Oscars
until
so
she's
white
blue in
mean?
the face.
This guy is
That
a
is
spinner.
white people shit. It's not
Okay.
blacks. White people should have been allowed to not
What
acknowledge
is white
blacks.
people shit?
It
Hold
is.
on.
The
Just
Oscars is literally white people stuff.
stop
Name me the
yelling. I
person who
didn't say it
founded it.
wasn't. I
Yes,
didn't
it
hear that you
is.
said
Biscuit crumbs
Oscars.
overdosing.
Okay, hold on, Tommy. I didn't hear you say Oscars.
I
Now
said
here's
Oscars
what
like
it
9 times.
okay, calm down. Calm down. Let me tell you another thing real quick. Do you
Oscars can't be
feel
Oscars.
that I agree that white people created the Grammys and gave each other awards for Black American music because they don't have any music in this country.
Oh my
So
God.
all the music that they're awarding themselves are for are regurgitated versions of Black American music that they copied and ran off with
Hell, they
and
had the
made
power to
money
do
on.
it.
That's right.
Y'all didn't have the power to stop them from regurgitating your music,
Well, we
but you
have the
stop Africans from doing it.
we know it's
It's
our
been
music and
stealing
they
from
do
y'all
too.
since day one,
And
and
we
you
have the
can't stop.
right we have the right to get awards. We also have the right to create our own award shows, which we should do, and award ourselves for that
You're trying to
music.
force them to give you an award. They don't want to give you one.
That's fine. Like I said, we should create our own award shows.
Yes, that's what I said. But y'all bitch and moan to white people about not giving you shit. The same thing that the Africans are
Well,
doing by your logic.
that's because they're playing our music now. If they were over there playing,
No, it is. Oh
uh,
my God.
if
It's
they if they were
white people
giving
get
each
to steal
other
y'all
a
shit, and
hold
y'all don't go
on,
to war with them.
hold on. If they were over there giving each other awards for doing the hokey pokey, if they were giving out polka awards, then maybe we wouldn't, be so
Oh my
offended.
God. The
Well,
Oscars ain't giving out no black awards. I
I
asked you
didn't
about the Oscars.
say
You will not
Oscars. I
answer
said
me.
Grammys.
Ma'am,
I
why will
said
you not deal with
Grammys.
what came out of my mouth? I said the Oscars. Tell me how that's black. Tell me what they
Okay.
stole from blacks.
Okay, I can tell you how we have a great deal to do with the beginnings of Hollywood.
No, you don't. Jews did.
This
No,
No,
Jews
most of
literally
the
guy's
created
movies.
it.
crazy.
Can
relax.
I chime
No,
in
Relax.
right quick?
y'all are just lying and
Relax.
This
think
guy's
We're
lying is
insane.
okay.
not lying. I don't know why
Oh,
you're
can I
so
chime in,
Jews
please?
Knowing
angry.
that
created
crack pipe
the
is
big
real.
black person. Now look them up
Professor,
now.
what
For
number is
everybody
he?
listening, educate me. Name the black person who helped create Hollywood.
Okay,
Oscar
I want
Michelle.
you to calm down because you're
There
screaming
we go.
and
But no answer. Just calm.
uh, can I look it up? I want to give you the right
Yes, please.
information.
I thought you would know it since you just told them.
No, 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 no,
Oscar
no.
Michelle.
It's a
Because I can
whole
tell you the
thing.
Jews.
It's
You
a
can look
whole
up
I don't need
thing.
to
Lincoln.
look up the
Will
Jews.
you
I know their
stop a
names.
minute? First of all, Black Americans stood at the forefront of entertainment. We were actually, okay, why do I hear all this noise?
He must be
Okay,
He over there
talking to
so
fighting
his
with himself.
friends or
Damn.
something. This
the
Yeah.
guy is off
Edison
the
Com-
chain.
the Edison Company developed the proctoscope, which used a carbon filament invented by Lewis Latimer. You know that guy. So, anyway, we were some of the first subjects in entertainment. Uh, Berlinger, Columbia, and Edison recorded Black Americans from the 1890s. Something Good Negro Kiss uh, portrayed Black American life with tender romantic scenes. Um, Now, this guy, born to an enslaved father by French Huguenots, Oscar Malot, shined as one of the first Black American filmmakers. The golden age of Black Hollywood created a lot of superstars. And those people, actually, some of them went over to Europe and became very famous. That's probably why we have a good reputation globally because of some of these early things that we did. A lot of the things in entertainment, uh, we were the subject of it, in a negative way. Blackface minstrel shows, vaudeville. And so we were being portrayed poorly. So we went out of our way to say, hey, you want to talk about us? Well, at least talk about us in a good way. But no, we had some dumbass guy named Stephen Fetchit who came over here, a Jamaican, who portrayed us horribly, stupidly, which is all that Caribbeans ever do. That's all immigrants do is come to undermine us. Um, and Frederick Douglass called blackface performers a filthy scum of white society. So white people were running around in blackface. Other immigrants, there was a Russian immigrant that was in blackface along with this idiot Stepin Fetchit, running around making a mockery of us. And they splashed our faces all over the place. So yeah, we do have something to do with the Oscars, Hollywood, entertainment. There wouldn't even be a
That wasn't
Hollywood.
the question I asked you, ma'am, at
It
all.
wouldn't even
I'm
be
gonna
a
Now
ask
he
you
finna
one
Hollywood.
change
question
it.
I
He
You
asked.
need
finna
to
change it
stop.
now.
You want me
You
to
can't
want me
name
He
to
one
finna change
black
it now.
person who created the studios.
Bro, he
oh
Not
just
God.
changed
one.
the whole
You can't
thing.
name one black director.
Oh
First he
my God,
said,
I
None.
cause I
already
know
did.
who made
Right? You can't
Hollywood.
name
I
any
already
black
Ooh,
did.
now
business
he changing
director.
it. Now
I
it's
already did.
director.
Now
Oh
it's
And yet
God.
director.
you're still so
He
now
And
that
just
line up
furthermore,
amazing.
animals because Animal Planet, well, they kept filming animals. Animals got
furthermore,
a right to get a
furthermore, I will say there wouldn't be any West, there wouldn't be any Hollywood unless the Buffalo Soldiers moved the country westward and fought off all those hostile Indians. Okay? We calmed the country down so you could have a flippin' Oscars and you could actually live in the rest of the country because it wasn't very calm before we did those things. Any other questions?
y'all really letting this slide. If everybody's listening in the audience, y'all gotta know. And y'all can hate me all y'all want. I don't want at this point. This woman is just talking now.
We do hate you.
This is sad.
Why are you
I know
yelling?
I
I
hate you,
don't
nigga. I got you blocked.
understand it.
She's just talking. She said
I mean,
Sir,
I already,
we're the
I
ones
uh,
who made
told
them go
you,
west. So
you
that's
asked
why
me what we had to do with the
it's
Oscars.
insane.
He's foaming at the mouth, y'all.
Oh my
Y'all
God.
done got him riled up.
Y'all are teaching my people. I'm telling you, there's a
I'm
reason why Jesus
sorry.
turned over the money changers' tables.
Oh
He saw
my
what the
God.
Professor,
Pharisees and
what
Sadducees
number is
I
this
want
guy?
is
you to
Is he
hear
relax. I
me.
33,
really
I'm
do.
32,
saddened.
I'm
23?
not even
Y'all are
being,
openly
I'm not
lying
being,
to people and think it's
look,
cute.
That glass
listen,
dick got him going
I,
crazy.
look, I know
Of
that,
course, FBA would say something.
I know that we're, probably enemies, but I still don't want you to scream like this because I don't want you to burst a blood vessel. And I'm not even being sarcastic. I know it sounds sarcastic because I'm usually sarcastic on the app, but just relax.
yeah, I thought
can I
Black was
chime in
waiting.
right quick?
Black,
Yeah,
Black, you got a
yeah,
question for Tommy? Go ahead.
You gotta give me
I,
credit, Professor. I've made the numbers go up and people loving this. Tell me I'm lying.
So you're doing this
Okay,
on
I'll give you
purpose.
credit. You're
Tommy
doing
needs to
Tommy,
take a
good.
wake up call, man.
Yep, you made the
well,
numbers go
Tommy,
up and you're doing good. Have a nice day.
I enjoy the back and forth. The truth is found from both sides of the argument sparring with each other. And Tommy, one thing I will give you is you're giving us the other side of the equation. So thank you for that. Go ahead, the Black.
And I appreciate you letting me do it because a lot of times this part never happens. So at least people can decide from themselves. So that's big ups to you, bro.
How did
And
it
Tommy,
feel
you're
being?
always welcome on my platform.
Thank you. I don't know if I'm following you, but you're about to get a follow right now.
Okay.
And all my people who watching, I tell y'all should follow them too because y'all know in a lot of places they only want one side, and this brother has said, you know what, speak your piece.
Go ahead, the Black.
okay, Tommy, since you wanted to know about, you know what I'm saying, our film history, Oscar Micheaux, which wrote over 200 books and novels. Most of his books was turned into films by the Jewish people who so-called created Hollywood. But he was the first one to move to Hollywood and start a studio out there before the people who made Hollywood today. Know what I'm saying? His name is Osterman Joe. Know what I'm saying? It's Mitchell, but know what I'm saying? It's kind of French like with the little accent. But anyway, you had Lincoln Motion Pictures, you had Negro Motion Pictures, you had many other, know what I'm saying, prominent movie companies that was founded and made by black people, but they was pushed out of business because of the conglomerate that the Jewish film companies put together to push them out of business. And then they did like they usually do. They buy up all the talent and put them in films. But
So you
just
pointing
to
out,
answer your question,
I want to make sure what I'm hearing you say, that Jews are smart enough to not only start Hollywood, but create it to where they create a monopoly to where nobody else can get in it. That's what you're saying? I want to make
no,
No, he missed the whole
no. I say
point,
they're
bro. This
conniving.
guy.
because
No, I
that
say
is what
they're
they did. Because the
conniving.
first studio was formed by David Horsley, Nestor Studios,
The
a white
argument wasn't
Jew.
about the first studios. Now you're adding that.
No,
Yeah,
no,
he's
he did
playing
say, he
dumb.
said a black man was the first to do it. He said it.
No, he said Oscar, not just a black man.
Yeah,
His
I
name
said
was
he was
Oscar.
one of the first ones to go over
No,
there
see, stop. He said it.
towards
Let him speak
Hollywood.
for himself. Y'all keep trying to overtalk him. He said it.
Yeah, I said he was one of the first ones to go towards
Thank
Hollywood
you. So
and
start
start a
trying to.
studio.
So no offense to you, bro. I
Which,
gotta say this.
which,
Stop trying to
which
jump
is
in and
true.
save
He
somebody a
left
lie to do it.
Nebraska.
I just want y'all to know these
He
people
started
around
in
him
Nebraska
lied
and
to
went to
jump in
California.
and act like I made up what he said, just so I could be wrong. Imagine if you and someone else are getting ready to fight and somebody throws somebody a knife. That's what they just did. They could have stayed out of it because I didn't lie. I don't argue about things people didn't say. I only argue what they said. You didn't say that. And the man was like, yeah, I did.
Why you so
You
angry?
didn't say that, Tommy.
Oh, you're still
Your face.
screaming?
This nigga, the Incredible Hulk, he's changing colors.
That's right.
Is that true?
I say yes.
Oh,
Same
you
thing y'all
changed the
do. When y'all
colors?
arguing FBA, aren't you passionate about it? Last I checked, you were. That's why you call it
Now,
the
I,
tethers and
I
food.
wanted to say something, Tommy, about some of the things. I agree that we should do our own things. Like you said, the Oscars is not our business and all this stuff, even though it is. But every time we try to just mind our own business and do our own things, we get a white boy on the Negro Leagues. You see, white people are on us like Velcro, and they can't help themselves. They can't stay
Right?
out of the rooms.
They
They
took
can't
from
stay out of the HBCUs. They
wait a
can't
minute.
stay out of the
They
the
took
jazz
from us
clubs when we were
blacks
minding our own business,
white
when we were
came for whites
creating jazz.
better. Blacks,
There's no,
look at what happened.
there's,
Look at the BET Awards. The biggest
hold on.
actors would skip it.
Okay,
Nobody
there's
told them to
no,
skip it. They just skipped
hold
it.
on. There's no activity that Black Americans have done here in America that white people have not come over to see what we were doing when we were segregated and isolated in our own communities. So
That's
they,
the world. People go, well, how do you think we got pizza
He
in
finna. I
America?
knew he
They went
finna
over to see
change
what
it.
they
I
were
knew
eating.
what does
it.
that have to do with
I'm
anything?
not changing it. That's the world. You don't have to include them just because they went to see it. You don't
They
have to include
they
them.
kind of bum rush over us.
Then that means your FBAs don't have no power then, because whites ain't saying that y'all bum rush them. That which is my original
What are
point.
we
Y'all
saying?
don't have no power. Whites
We
just keep
do
bum
have
rushing
power.
it.
You
We
don't
do
like me
have
when I'm
power.
angry. He's so angry.
Look,
That's right,
we
sir.
we have a lot
You
of
on my penis
power.
because you mad 'cause when you talk, don't
I
nobody
don't
come
know
You
listen.
why
saved it.
you
You saved it
Shut up.
for your OnlyFans account,
hold
sir.
on.
Saved it for your
I
OnlyFans.
don't
Yes, and
understand.
tell them about my penis.
I
Tell them,
don't
sir.
I
You tell
don't
your mama about
understand.
it.
Hold on.
No,
I
sir. My mom already knows she had me.
Ugh.
Sir. You talking about it during the show in which it ain't about it.
I
Hold
ain't say
on.
You
shit
brought up
about
my
your.
penis out of nowhere.
Oh
FBA,
I
that's what
my
said you
FBA.
was
God.
sucking. I said you was smoking a
That's what
crack pipe. I ain't
FBA
saying
is. You
about no
bring up
dick, sir.
penis. Sir, you mad because bitches pay to see my dick, not yours.
Oh my
How
God.
is that a diss? You
Wait, you
can't
got
diss me, nigga.
OnlyFans?
This is impressive.
I don't want to diss
Tom,
a
you know
coon
them
that
was
eat
white
trash
men
from the
pan.
trash can, sir. Calm down, man. You the one being
Sir,
angry. You
why
just need
you
to
bring
calm
up
down and
my
be
penis?
quiet.
I want to know why you brought up my penis.
Ah,
I make more money showing my
I
penis
I
than you
I don't
working on.
care.
Okay,
Hey, Crispy,
can we
why you let that woman slap the shit out you on the Fresh and
Calm down,
Fit?
Christy.
Let's stop
Calm down,
talking
sir.
about
Hey,
Ashley
Crispy,
penises.
why you let that woman slap you on Fresh and Fit like that, man?
I'm glad that there's fans of mine here, which is why the numbers came up, but I'm still winning on the discussion.
It only
That
went
you would
up
have gotten to if
100.
Sir,
you
Tweaking.
no
would have
matter
gotten
what
to a
you
fight with
say,
Wani
You're
and
really
Nikki if this was
not.
you
live
gotta
TV.
remember, sir, you lose because you
Hey,
know me. I don't know you. If you walk down the
everybody,
street,
Hold
everybody know the Crispy Puppet, nigga. What are you talking
sir,
about? Everybody know
hey,
the
what
fucking video game, nigga. What are you talking about?
puppet though? You didn't
I
the
wish I
Christian
was there right now, man. You go with Nikki and
that
Wani and I'll
the
slap the
Christian
shit out you. I know it.
fit. You didn't bring
I
up
just
whether,
want to know if Uncle
Now,
read
I
about
just
Oscar
wanted to
Machetti.
say so.
and
Okay,
I just
hold
want
on.
y'all to know what the
Oh
FBA.
my. Hold on. I just wanted to say that we do have immense power, and that's why everybody keeps coming over to see what we're doing. We're consolidating power. And you keep coming over here saying we don't have any power for some reason. Why? You're not going to psych us out. We know we're powerful. We pulled rank and people don't like it, and we're going to keep on pulling rank.
Again, when people pull rank, when whites pulled rank, they stopped you from getting in their stuff. They didn't ask anybody. They didn't put together any panels. They stopped you from getting in their stuff. So I don't mind you pulling rank. I actually want to see y'all do it. I want to see y'all keep these tethers and people away from your stuff. I'm
That
begging to see it. Show me what y'all have kept them out of so far, please.
relax.
See, every time I ask them a question they can't answer, and I stop. I
What
ask a
question
question,
did you ask?
Nigga, but you're
they
from
say
Panama,
relax.
though. Here's the
I
thing.
don't know what
Still
you're
No, no,
can't
no.
get a
I
saying.
got to
Flies
question.
say
off the
something to
chain.
Nick.
I ain't never told y'all to
I
relax
Hey,
got to
when
y'all,
you
say
it's a
ask
something
me a
to
Christmas.
him.
Hey, if you go on Amazon, it's a Christmas sale on Hey, it's a Christmas sale on Crispy Puppets on Amazon, y'all. Can you
I
autograph
don't know,
mine,
man. Them
Tommy?
things might be on
question.
TV, brother. You giving
Sir,
him
it
too much
doesn't
credit.
matter what it is. Tyreek is rich and I'm rich and you broke. Say something.
See, here you
Say
go
something,
with
nigga.
another man
Tyreek
name in your
rich,
mouth.
I'm rich. You
I'm
broke.
not broke.
You and me right now on
I'm
this
not broke
show
at all.
and see who got the most money right now. Let's play that game.
I'll
You
rob
said
you, man.
Amazon. No,
I don't
you
have
don't rob
I don't
me.
have no
I
family. I'll rob you, nigga. I'll
I
rob
wouldn't
you.
even want to do that. I
I'll
don't want to
rob
get
you.
raped
I don't
before
have
we
We're
no
gonna
kids.
miss
I can
you.
go to prison.
all around
I'll
the
rob
United
you,
States.
Tommy.
Name one nigga that done robbed me. Name one. My house address
It's
is
Are
gonna
you
be so
online.
asking?
tired in a
Name
Are
minute.
one
you
He
nigga that
asking?
said,
done
name
robbed
one
me. Name
person
one.
that robbed him,
Name
as
one
if he told
But
FBA.
nigga, you
You don't
ashy,
anybody
so
know.
the name
nobody
of the person
nobody
that
know that
robbed
you
You
him.
rich
don't know
when it's
your
ashy
business.
as
Who
you are.
I'm
When
just
you
just
come
telling what
around,
you
bro, you
said.
look ashy
You
in your
tried to
picture.
tell me that the crispy puppet is being sold. I agree. Tyreek is getting paid off of the crispy puppet and the FBA niggas, and I'm getting paid. How are you doing, sir, financially? Let us know. Since it's a joke. I like jokes. Tell me one. It's more niggas in your family that know me than know you. I guarantee you that. Let me say it again. It's more niggas in your family that know my name than know your name.
Nigga, a lot of people don't know your name
Sir,
like that. Nigga, I don't know
I'll
where you
make
getting that
blessed
from.
with that. I'll
And
go to
I
your
wasn't the one who
family
said
reunion.
that. I wasn't the
I'll
one
go
who
to your
said that.
family reunion. I bet more people walk up to shake my hand than yours. I bet you $5.
Professor, what number
And
is this
listen,
dude?
I keep my word. You tell me where your family reunion is, I'll show
I
up
don't know,
the whole
Stoney.
way. I guarantee you I
Oh,
walk to that motherfucker
he's a
unharmed and
sinner.
signing shit, just like you just asked me to do.
Shit.
You asked me to sign your shit. I never asked you to sign anything of mine. You know me. You know my whole life. You know what shows I've been on. I don't know your name.
Oh,
Did I lie? Did I lie? I don't know you. I can't bring up shit about you, nor can anybody else here, because they don't know you. Can
What made you stop by here?
you a fan?
Let me ask you a question. What made you stop by our space today? I just want to ask you that question. What made you stop by, Tommy?
I follow somebody. It might be you. And when I was looking, I saw the title and I decided to come and join it because and then I listened the same way most people do. Remember, when I came, guess how the numbers jumped? Most people saw me and said, let's hear what he's got to say. That's what usually happens. That's how spaces do what they do. That's how I ended up getting 50,000 people.
No, I was just asking you if what interested you about
I
the
just
space. I was just
on the
curious.
side, and it said, "Why are foreigners anti-FBA reparations? Is fufu African bread?" And since I had been talking to a lot of the FBAs, one of them was Re-Up. He was on my show. I have no problem. I believe that if I go to it, I'll go to a Democrat space, I'll go to a white nationalist space. The thing is, in order to learn, you got to go to a lot of people's places and listen to them. As I said earlier, everything I know, I learned. I'm not opposed to views that are opposite mine. I would rather talk to someone who has a different view than someone who believes me or listens to everything I say or goes along with me. That's typically a cult. And I don't want to be around cult people. So like the guy who's pretending he's not a fan, but know everything I'm doing, including my penis size, that's just a fan. I don't want to be around that guy. That guy sit up there and shake the hell out of my arm if he
Okay, so what makes you so sure that he knows your penis size?
He talked about it.
I said you was smoking crack, sir. Ain't nobody said anything about it. I did say he was sucking the glass dick. I did say that. I ain't gonna lie about that. Because this dude is really delusional and keep bringing up shit that don't have nothing to do with the conversation.
Yeah, I just want an autograph puppet. That's all I said. That's all I said.
I don't even want that. I probably would have burned that motherfucker. I ain't even gonna lie.
So what? Is he like
Listen,
Charleston White or something?
It is impressive. I remember the first time I saw it. I didn't know it was what it was. And the woman told me, she said, "That's insane what you got. You have a deformity." And so I said, let me make money off of it, because if a woman's got really big breasts, why wouldn't she make money off of it? Well, I have a really big penis. Why wouldn't I make money off of it? So how can you make fun of me for making fun for me monetizing my penis when women do it all the time? Why would that be a joke, sir?
That's
Let me tell you how much money I make off of my penis. $78,000 a month. You tell me what you do to make the same.
So you're telling a group, you're telling a room full of FBAs, you're admitting to a room full of FBAs that you're willing to sell out.
Ma'am,
your dignity.
If you work at Amazon, you sold out.
Your dignity.
You literally
That's your opinion.
a nigga's packages that he could go get himself. If you make my hamburger at McDonald's, you sold out. I could have made my hamburger at home, but I'd rather pay your bitch ass $10 to get me a hamburger.
No, you can't. You probably would have burnt your house up.
You calling somebody a sellout when y'all online right now, hoping that y'all shit pop and you can make some money because you on here doing it for free, Nick.
You can make money from that.
I do things for free because I don't need money. I make enough money.
Hold on, ma'am.
I make enough money, sweetheart.
Hoping to be something, which is what you're doing when you're doing this.
I make enough money. I don't need money off of social media. I've never tried to make money off of social media. If somebody wants to send me a cash app, that's on them. But I don't need money. I don't need money off of social media.
Why are you doing it?
I make enough.
Why do you have a space?
I make enough. It's about somebody loving their people. It's about loving the movement.
You can
with
love
me.
People in your neighborhood. You ain't loving your neighborhood. Go and start the FBA in your neighborhood. Why you ain't did that?
Stop yelling.
How you?
Y'all notice she ain't got no answer. FBA could be a building in her neighborhood. She doesn't start.
I'm not. I refuse to yell over him, Monty.
Hey, Tommy,
I refuse
right now.
I refuse to yell. How is he talking through the mute? I refuse to yell over people.
Remember, we discussed people are demon possessed. They go through the mute. So anyway, this is a passion, and I've dedicated the last part of my life to doing this because I just slid through life, not even paying attention, thinking that, oh, we had the civil rights movement, everything's okay. And then I found out it wasn't okay. And I decided to follow in my grandmother's footsteps. It skipped a generation and just dedicate the rest of my life to giving us a little booster shot. Looks like we need a Black American booster shot. Some people have forgotten our lineage, the legendary lineage of Black Americans, real ones, not these counterfeits that are coming over here being Black Americans just because they stepped on the soil. That's all I'm doing here.
Yeah, a lot of people do want money, but we do this out of sheer passion. And there are a lot of people who want fame, but that's not what we're all about.
Out of passion? This is a passion.
Yes.
Yeah, we're really here. You don't know our backgrounds. We're here to reach our people.
I would rather give a white man your money, Since she called me a sellout, that was what she said.
So no, I didn't call you a sellout. I didn't just say you're a sellout.
Money.
You know what? You better be nice to me. You better be nice to me, or if you don't stop being mean to me, I'm gonna go get Tariq and tell him to come in here and embarrass you. You better stop being mean to me. Stop it. You cut it out.
Oh, that's why you be talking
Anybody
about
who does
Tyreek
a
like
job
that.
for money. That's why I gave you the Amazon guy, the hamburger guy. These people are literally doing things they would not do if there wasn't a check involved. Who you think want to make your hamburger, ma'am? Who you think want to sit up there and babysit your shitty kids? These teachers. That's why a lot of these teachers are trying to do other things because they'd rather not be teaching because it's not a job they want to do. That's why we're not getting good teachers right now.
Let me mute up before I start talking out of turn.
Please, man. He crazy.
I have said not one thing wrong. Come on now. Y'all, I haven't said one. If I'd had, they would argue what I was saying and say, that's not right.
He's rule 45.
But they're not. They say be quiet. They say you're talking loud. They say you must be crazy. But they never have said, that's wrong what he just said. And I want y'all to understand that I've been here for an hour and 30 minutes. The word "you're wrong" has not came out of anyone's mouth.
You're wrong.
You're wrong.
That was pretty good. That's pretty good. That's what you're supposed to do when somebody says
excellent timing.
But even here,
so Tommy, would you?
Y'all,
you said, Tommy, would you be
brothers and sisters?
Tommy,
I didn't say you were wrong, but I said you got some things slightly askew, or you may have the wrong end of the stick about what we're doing. And you may feel that we're not entitled to be exclusive.
Oh, no. You remember I said earlier, I said you should. I said, but here's the issue. It's like whenever I've seen two arguments between two women. One was black, one was white. And I heard the black woman call the white woman all kind of white bitches. Soon as the white woman said black bitch to her, everybody yelled that the white woman was racist. But how?
Okay.
How is it not okay?
I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have done that. Okay, I get it. I wouldn't have done that.
That's it. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying.
Okay, so are you aware? Because you seem to feel like we're doing something to these people, and in fact, we've done things.
I told you earlier. I said you're not.
Okay,
I literally said you have the right to do this, but you don't have the. Listen, just like how you say white people stole your music, white people stole all these things. You didn't have the power to stop them. So if a black person comes over here and pretends to be an African, comes over here and pretends to be black and blows up during the music, what can you do to stop them when it's a Jew paying them and not you? You don't own a record company, so you can't even stop them. Let me give you an example. Jews stop blacks from saying Jew anything in music. Michael Jackson said, kick me, kike me. They cut that shit out. The black man stood up there and he said, stack chips like Hebrews and all about the Benjamins. They cut that shit out. So you can say kill a nigga, rape a woman, but you couldn't say anything about Jews.
I understand what you're saying.
Had the power. They didn't argue with you. Name a time Jews argued with these people. They never did. They didn't argue with Nick Cannon. They shut him down. That's power. Anybody knows power moves that way. When you're a parent, what do you know? You know you can shut your kids up. You got power. If you couldn't shut your kids up, you don't have no power. If a man walk in the room and everybody shut up, they know he got power. If he walk in the room and he got to beg everybody to be quiet and they still keep talking, he has no power. So I'm not dissing y'all, and I keep asking. I would love to see y'all enact the stuff you're saying. Because when you online and negotiating with these Africans, you know what the Africans realize? You don't have power because you're negotiating with them.
No, we're not.
You are.
We're not negotiating with them.
You're pointing out how there are Africans who aren't black who are intruding in your space. How did they do it?
Well, we're entertaining them. We can kick them out anytime we want. We just feel like having fun.
I've acknowledged what you say. You will not acknowledge what I'm saying. Even your host acknowledged said there was a point. If you really got power, you will enact shit, and they stuck. White people been doing it to blacks for centuries now. They don't sit and talk. They do.
I just
Your
wanted
tails
to
are full
point
of
out.
facts that whites
I
put in
wanted to point. I want to point out how we got here. Every group of people on Earth has an ethnicity, right? We're the only group that has an ethnicity that's challenged. People are like, oh no, I can be Black American, I can be African American. No one else is doing that. No one else goes to other places and infringes on their ethnicity, or if they do, they look idiotic, like
there.
Africans do in Ireland,
Ma'am,
telling Irish people
2016,
what they should do with their ethnicity.
in
Now,
2016, in 2016, the man who created y'all movement used to make fun of me because I was calling myself an American first. I said I'm an American and I had the American flag behind me. And he said that's some white boy shit, is what he said. And now he's telling y'all to claim y'all American first.
well,
That's why I said
We had Pan African
if it
brain
was a
damage,
real
though.
movement,
We
people
were
Is
Pan
would
that
be
is
Africanists.
that your
FBA.
We
villain
were,
origin
calm
story?
down. We were
It's not a
Pan
calm. I'm
African.
saying something to you that's a fact. Why do y'all keep
I
saying
don't,
calm when y'all hear a fact?
because I'm trying to
No matter how
explain
I said a fact,
why.
it's still a
It doesn't matter. It doesn't
after
matter.
I
We were
said it.
Pan Africanists.
Okay, watch
We
this.
were Pan
Okay,
Africanists. How
okay,
many times do we have to
ma'am.
say that?
In
And
2000,
Pan Africanists trained us to hate America. They trained us to feel
the man
stateless.
who started
They
your movement.
trained us to do all those things. And now we have realized that we are American and that
So
we
have you
should not feel
apologized to
stateless.
any of the Americans
It's,
you called sellouts for calling?
I never took on a
I didn't say
full
you.
Pan
You said
African.
we.
I know.
The
I'm
hell?
just letting you know there's
I
different
didn't say.
degrees.
I'm asking. Has any of those people who denigrated those other people come back and did exactly what blacks want whites to do for them? Give them reparations. You haven't done it to your own people. You destroyed your own people's names and reputation because you were listening to the Pan Africans. And now you come to realize they had a point. But you know what you did?
The
Still
Pan
ruined their
Africans.
lives.
I'm kind of
Ruined them.
confused on what you're saying.
That's
These
his
people
point.
broke
Like I was
pro
saying,
America.
we were.
They were pro
Hold on.
America. They were called sellouts.
I get it. Listen, this is a very tricky position because people that were Republicans were typically coons. Now, people that are not coons have to kind of sideways root for Republicans because they're the only ones with sensible agendas. So things are different.
But
Okay?
that's what happens when you become a person who's not malleable. When you are rigid, both these words.
Things are different. Things change and you
Telling,
have to change with them.
but listen when you say things are different. Please, ma'am.
Yes, they are.
I know. Please didn't listen to me. If
Listen,
if
when I first,
so, you
I
just
was a Pan African.
I
Listen,
begged you to listen to me to my point, and you
go ahead.
if things are different, I'm accepting that. So when a person realizes things are different, they should become less rigid because they should understand things change with time and information. So when you're talking right now as an FBA, you should probably be less rigid because if y'all were able to come up with FBA, y'all might come up with MBA and TDA and whatever else A in the next 5 years. So maybe you shouldn't be as rigid so you wouldn't have to
Why do you
apologize
feel like we're rigid?
because what I said earlier when I came here, I said y'all were telling people they couldn't even talk.
That
That's
was a particular, you came in at a certain
no.
time.
You said no, ma'am. Your words were this specifically. You said they shouldn't have a voice. That's what you
They
said.
shouldn't. They shouldn't.
So I was right, and then the person says that's
No,
you said
it
it wrong time.
depends
I
on,
repeat what
no,
they
no,
said.
no, no.
That
It
they couldn't.
depends on the
See,
context.
let me finish right.
We
If I
had
was
Africans, calm down.
if
We
I
had
was right
Africans.
in what I
Oh,
said,
will you
why are
stop?
you cutting me
We
off?
had we had Africans talking on the stage for quite a while, two different types.
Understand?
A hostile African and a non-hostile African that
But when I
still
was
keeps
here,
trying
the
to
guys weren't
teach
hot.
us that our food comes from
When
Africa.
I came, they were
He's a
not
good
hostile.
African versus a bad. It's like a good cop, bad cop,
When I
and they're
came,
both
they
doing the
weren't
same
hostile.
thing.
Ma'am, if I start calling you a bitch and a hoe right now, people are going to say, I understand if you call it to a woman who's dissing you, but if a woman's not doing it, why are you saying it? That's what most people would say.
The third
This dude is off
African,
the chain, man.
the
Well,
third
there were
African
women
came up.
before her who were
Can you
rude.
relax? The third African
See,
came up,
she
and
just
he was
keeps saying
coming
relax
to.
every time I'm right. I make a 100%
Every
I'm
time
the
I'm
trying to
right.
only
talk.
person would say that's fair.
My God.
Yes,
Wait.
y'all relax, ma'am. I'm
He
gonna
came up.
text you.
Can I tell you
Go
what
go go.
happened?
Tommy, let
Here,
let
they
Wani
are
speak. Go ahead,
Oh,
telling
a
me
Wani.
to
third
relax, which is
African.
why people are listening.
Stop. A third
Go
a
ahead,
third
Wani.
African came
So
up
I'm gonna
on
relax
the
and let y'all go back to this
uh,
relaxed conversation that
a
she's
third African came up. A third
no, you
African
want me to
came up.
relax? I'm gonna let y'all go back to being relaxed.
God.
Enjoy it.
A third
Have a
a
good night.
third
Thank you, Professor.
African a third African came
Yeah, we got a little craziness going on.
A third African came up on the stage and wanted to wag his finger because the nasty African couldn't say what he wanted to say. So that's when you came in the room. That is
you said
very
you,
stressful.
you said
Hey,
Lord
a
Jesus
hostile
Christ.
African and a non-hostile African.
hey, he that dude when you say stop yelling. I ain't yelling.
I ain't mad. Y'all niggas
I
mad. What's wrong with
This
y'all?
ain't
nigga
mad.
Balzo to
I ain't
ask him a
mad.
That was
question.
very
Shit.
vibrant. That was a vibrant conversation.
I was about to throw some biscuit crumbs at him, but I didn't want to waste my food, so I just let him go and do what he wanted to do.
Is
Oh,
he
he
like
left.
Charleston White or
He
something
left.
like that?
He kicked
What's
He
wrong
himself
with
like
y'all
out.
a
niggas?
guy
Y'all ain't
like
voting Democrat? What's wrong with y'all?
Oh, God, you can't win with him, can you?
Man, he was making my blood pressure go up.
I would have
Jeez.
been kicked his
Hey,
ass
He
out
what
the space. My
number
literally.
is
patience is
this
very thin
guy?
for all that biscuit babbling.
I
I ain't
gotta
finna be
take
hearing
my
all that.
blood pressure. He
He
gave me a
ruled number
stroke.
33, 43, 82. He just was so he's a spinner. He was
He
spinning
the,
like a
he
motherfucker.
the type of nigga that if you a cop, you automatically got to pepper spray him just to tell him to be quiet. Like, man.
Are you sure he's Black American? Because our blood pressure
No,
gets high.
he's
Oh, he's not.
half
Yeah, because we get high blood pressure. Us real Black Americans.
The
Panamanian
nigga was
American.
about to do the Fred Sanford up here yelling like that.
Oh,
Calm down, man.
Does his Panama family accept him? Does his Panama family accept him? I get the feeling that they don't.
Man, they banished that nigga with some Goya powder and say, don't come back until you learn something.
Hey, Tariq said he's not really from Panama. Or he'll say he talked to his
Where is he
brother.
from?
I don't know. He said he's some nigga named like Tommy Johnson or something.
Oh
He
Lord.
said he talked to
is
his
he like
brother.
Charleston White?
Got my
No,
damn
Charleston
last
A
White's
name.
a
Shit.
character?
character.
Yeah, is he like that?
No, Charleston White's a character. That's not really him.
That's a
Yeah, I
He
know
cockeyed
ain't really
ass
Charleston White's a
nigga.
Tommy.
character. What I'm asking is Tommy a character? Is he a
Nah,
character too?
that's truly
No,
him.
that's really him. That's really him.
Oh shit.
That's what I'm
I
That's
trying
give
that
to tell
that to
nigga.
you.
Charles White. He really do shit for the
Screaming like
city.
that?
That's
He's
that
not a
nigga with them
character.
ashy ass cocaine residue kneecaps. Yes, that's him.
Oh, I thought he was trying to entice an emotion or something by acting like that.
No, Whining gave him PTSD from like high school when the girl didn't want to date him, and so they just
Oh
kicked
Why
him
no,
out.
won't you
don't use
date
me.
me?
He's got a farm animal penis according to y'all.
No,
I
you
ain't
know he
looking at
loved
that.
to
You
talk
know them,
about
I
that.
I I
you know them Joe Biden crack pipes. They hit different than the regular ones. So straight out here.
Don't get me involved.
Concrete, concrete. Never know what you mean till you're walking down the street.
Are we singing
yeah,
now?
y'all stupid.
Wait, Tommy got kicked
That
out.
matter.
So
He
I
got put
so
in
still got it,
timeout.
Red. I
so
still got it.
Nah, he had to go.
Tommy, what happened?
so Tommy Sotomayor been streaming this the whole time for content.
Yeah, I know.
He had to go to the nearest
I
trash
didn't know
can to get
that.
his next meal, so
Oh,
he had to
why
leave
Yeah,
for a
that's
would
what he
I'm
while.
you
do
trying to
every
leave?
figure.
time.
Wait a
Every
minute,
time he
y'all.
come in
Wait,
I
this
was
room, he
warned.
do that.
wait, y'all. Do anybody know his channel that he streams this to?
Nope,
Is
Nope.
I
this
not
don't.
YouTube?
interested in him.
Because it looks. No, it's just. I just want to know.
I know